Alright, we're back again. Pardon the noise, it is an air compressor. Yes, this is in the shop. This video we're going to kind of touch on a subject that for some reason, again, you can tell people, and you can tell people. They hear you, some listen, some don't. Alright, on a foul, they have however many different locking shoulders to set the headspace. Okay. That accounts for wear, that accounts for machining variances, blah, blah, blah. The Israelis took the AK system, which uses 1, 2, 3, and 4 for bolts, trunnions, and barrels, and they complicated the hell out of it. So, what you're going to see, if you have a stub in your parts kit, you're going to see on the right side of the front trunnion, there is a number stamp. Okay? That ain't a part number, that ain't a lot number. That refers to the bolt that fits the particular alignment to that receiver. Okay? If you want to see what I'm talking about, take you a set of calipers or depth knife, go off this face, go in here, touch off on that lug, write that number down, touch off over on this side. Subtractive math should be somewhere in the 50 or 60 range as far as what you got right and left. Okay. There's a funny thing that happens if you pay attention. 0.3 on that receiver, the bolt in your kit, unless it's been refitted or rebarreled or re-arsenaled, that number should correspond to the 2-digit number on your bolt head. Okay? Again, that's not a part number, it's not a lot number, it is the offset between the right shoulder, see the wear pattern, and the left shoulder. Okay? So the reason I tell everybody when you build a kit from scratch on a new receiver, okay, you have to force machine these or force match these together, and that's where the polishing or the lapping compound with a little spring-loaded round, another video, don't worry, it's coming, to make sure that this same wear pattern equates into your new receiver. Because even though they're made on CNCs, there is a plus and minus on every tolerance, unless you want to spend, $3,000 for a receiver to make it exactly right. You got to accommodate for not only that, the original dimensions, you got to account for the fact, does your kit have 100,000 rounds through it, or does it have 10,000 rounds through it, or does it have 1,000,000 rounds through it? Because, I've got a gizmo around here that you set this thing in. It's got 2 spring-loaded dial indicators that would tell me what the bolts are. Exactly. Because I used to machine Ohio rapid fires and centuries into spec in the pockets in the trunnion, so I didn't have so much work to do to polish the bolt in and make it match. Alright, so at the end of the day, when you polish your old bolt into your new receiver after you have your bullet guide in there, this is kind of the wear pattern that you want to see, 100% on the little one, that much on the big one. It doesn't go all the way up, but it just goes right there. Once you get that bolt is seated to that new receiver. And here's kind of a disclaimer for you guys that just think you drop them in there, screw the barrel on, and headspace it. Well, if this is 65 thousandths offset difference, your bolt is 42 thousandths offset. Guess what? You're going to start seeing, after so many rounds, that right side lug or this left side lug mushing back. Like everybody, you've been on the internet, you can see it. Oh, I got a burr coming up here, or I got a burr coming up there. Well, what it's doing, nature hates a vacuum. So as this thing is being forced back and locked into battery and fired and unlocking and firing and unlocking, it's putting undue pressure on one side or the other. Well, it's going to balance itself out. It's going to machine itself or seat itself in. You don't want that, because if it machines itself back 6 thousandths, you've now went from a good tight go gauge to a no-go gauge. If it goes 10 to 12 thousandths, you're going to start busting, primers are going to pop out, cases are going to explode, top covers become earrings. Okay? So you want to seat your bolt into your new receiver before you ever put the barrel on it or even think about putting the barrel on it. All right? And like I said, Fowls have, I think, 18 or 20 different locking shoulder diameters that I can remember. Galils are 0, 1 through 60 something. And like I said, that is in relation to these. And then you got to factor in the round count and the wear and all that. So you really want to do yourself a favor, polish seat these bolts before you put the barrels in. 99.9% chance your headspace will still be the same at 1,000 rounds, at 5,000 rounds, until you start eroding the chamber out in the neck. Your headspace should stay good. Okay? Like I said, we've got another video we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to make a spring-loaded round to seat these, and I'm going to try to walk you through headspace in the barrel without using shims. And yeah, so there's your little heads up on what's the deal with the bolts. Why, why does this gun not have, little turds or little burrs come up on it? And why does that gun run, 5,000 rounds later, it's still tight on a go gauge and everything's copacetic? Okay? That's the trick. I mean, no secret squirrel information. It's common sense. Other than that, I think we're ready to take a break and try to do at least one more video today, and we will talk to you in a minute.